Good morning to all my dear students. You all are welcome to this video subject session of SS, where students today we are going to discuss the remedies for the forest conservation, that what steps we should take to conserve the forest. Is that research should be carried out to find out the option of the wood. Nowadays we can see we are using a lot of the wood, and for this reason only a day will come when no wood or no trees can be seen. So we have to find an option where we should get an option for the wood only, and this will reduce the usage of wood and it will save the forest. And when we are finding the alternate option, so we will get that we can save the trees and the usage of the wood should be reduced. And whenever the trees are to be cut inevitably for the development work or for the necessity, so whenever the trees are cut to get the wood, so we can get that we should find the alternative option instead of the wood. And by doing this we are not only saving the forest and we are not only saving the vegetation, but here we can say that we are saving our planet earth, on which the life is only possible due to this trees only. And so for this some species should be grown, because all the species of the plants, animals, and whether it may be the birds, when we are conserving the forest and not cutting the trees, it should be seen, their number should be grown. There should be a total ban for cutting trees which are not grown fully, and there should be a total ban means prohibition. So there should be a total prohibition for cutting the trees which are not growing fully. Those trees which should not be grown fully should not be cut. And for this, those industries which receive their raw material from the forest should be compelled for afforestation for future needs. So those industries which are getting their raw materials from the forest, from the trees, so they should be compelled that they have to grow more number of the trees in respect of the trees which they are using as a raw material in their industry. And under the name of ecotourism, the forest cover should not be damaged and should not be strictly controlled. And under the name of the ecotourism is anything what we are doing the planning and adventurous activity, so there we are damaging the forest. So these activities must be controlled in a certain manner, so that we cannot see by cutting the trees, and by doing this we can ultimately save the forest only. Widespread public awareness program should be organized among the local people. And among the local people, one thing which we can do is that we can have the public awareness regarding this. And for this, the importance of the forest and the conservation strategies should be included in the syllabus of schools and colleges. The government which need to aware the children of the future generations, because they ultimately are known as the citizens, particularly the responsible citizens. So syllabus like we all are learning in this subject must be included in every class, so that the children, whether in the school and colleges, will understand first and will implement later. So they will also understand the importance of the forest. And for this the syllabus should include these kind of the things and topics. And they should explain the necessity of the forest conservation, and all the students should be explained the need and the necessity of the forest conservation. Social forestry and agroforestry should be developed intensively by taking planned steps for the necessity of fodder and firewood. So social forestry is anything which we can say that socially public should be aware, and agroforestry is a topic which we can say the agricultural related forestry are such that should be developed intensively by taking planned steps for the necessity of fodder and the firewood. And for this fodder and firewood we need to plan first, instead of damaging the forest for the fodder and for the pasturing and for the grazing land. One thing must be done is that we should grow the grass and all the forestry related to that only. And in place of firewood, alternate options like solar energy, natural gas, etc. should be implemented. So in case of the firewood, now most of the times we all are damaging the trees by not thinking where we are getting the firewood should be proved as dangerous in the future. So instead of getting the firewood from the forest, we need to find an alternative option for this. Now, forest resources should be used sparingly. Sparingly is anything which we can say which should be used wisely, and in a limited quantity we must use. So, in order to make the process of tree growth faster and healthier, infested trees should be removed. So, in order to enhance the life of the trees, those trees which are the infested one and those which can be a hurdle, which can be proved to be a hurdle for the other trees, should be removed first. And forest fires causes heavy damage to the forest. And forest fires, we know that recently when the forest fire is there in some of the countries, so they have damage to the forest in such a way that most of the forest fire, like in the jungles of the Amazon, before some days ago the forest fire was there, and the Amazon jungles are considered to be the lungs of the earth. And when these should not be controlled, we can say that the human being should have to bear the burden for this one day. A separate system or a force at national level should be created for dousing the fire. Nowadays, modern technologies used to be somewhere so much advanced that they are controlling the fire automatically. There are the siren systems, the systems which have the fitted technologies in that, sensors are fitted in that, so they should control the forest fires. And by doing this, we can say that students, the forest fires should be controlled, and the trees which have been damaged due to this, we can control it in a much better place. The next is, due to the increased means of transportation and easy travel, thousands of pilgrims reach the religious places in forested area to attend the Bandara fairs or parikrama, circular travel. At that time the litter should be cleaned properly, otherwise the forests are populated. So due to the increased means of transportation in India, most of the fairs, public gatherings, and thousands of pilgrims reach to the forest places, and due to this we can say that lots of disturbance and litter is created. And at last, an area should be demarcated and reserved for the animal pasture. The day before yesterday we were discussing that in many of the towns and cities, those lands which are open and considered to be the fertile plains on which the grass is grown, and that grass is protecting the land from the erosion. So in these grassy plain area, in the areas where the grass is grown, the activity of grazing, the activity for the animal pasture, it means the animals, domesticated animals, the shepherds, what all they are doing are grazing, are allowing to graze their cattle in the open field. And that pasture land, of course, should not be created, and they should be given the separate kind of the area